The universe might already be watching us and choosing to stay silent. With over 100 billion galaxies and trillions of planets, the math says we shouldn't be alone. Not even close. So where is everyone? Why hasn't anyone shown up or even said hello? That's the question that breaks everything. Because if intelligent life is common, then silence isn't normal. Silence is a decision. And that raises a darker possibility. What if they're not avoiding us by accident? What if they're avoiding us on purpose? But here's the strange part. We keep imagining aliens as visitors, explorers, curious beings drifting across space just to meet us. But we haven't even left our own cosmic backyard. So why do we assume they have? And if they have, what did they become along the way? Now imagine this. Tomorrow, without warning, something appears in our solar system. Not a meteor, not a satellite, something controlled, something massive. And this is where it gets weird. You wouldn't even know at first. No alarms, no breaking news, just a faint signal, quietly picked up by distant observatories. Ignored at first, then confirmed. Again and again, until it's undeniable. And that's when everything changes. Your phone buzzes. Your TV cuts in. Confirmed signal, non-human origin. And just like that, humanity isn't alone anymore. But that's not even the craziest part. Because the moment we realize they're real, panic won't be the biggest problem. Understanding them well. What do they want? Why are they here? And the most dangerous question of all, do they even notice us? But here's where it gets complicated. Governments wouldn't rush to greet them. There's no alien welcome protocol, no rehearsed speech, no plan. Instead, chaos behind closed doors. Scientists, linguists, psychologists, military strategists, all pulled together in hours, all trying to solve a problem no one prepared for. How do you talk to something that doesn't think like you? And this is where it gets weird. We assume aliens would understand signals, language, patterns. But what if their perception of reality is completely different? What if communication itself is impossible? Every movement, every sound, every signal would be recorded, analyzed, decoded, or at least attempted. Meanwhile, the world watches, waiting, speculating, panicking quietly. You'd be told to stay indoors, avoid misinformation, stay calm. But let's be honest, would you? Or would you be staring at the sky, waiting to see something impossible? And then another question hits you. What do they look like? Because that answer might be more familiar than you expect. But that's not even the unsettling part. Because if life follows universal rules, then aliens might not be so alien after all. Think about it. Evolution solves problems in similar ways. Eyes to see, limbs to move, brains to process. So what if they look disturbingly close to us? Two eyes, facing forward, hands capable of building, a body designed for control and precision. And this is where it gets unsettling. Because if they evolved like us, they might think like us. And that changes everything. Curiosity, fear, competition, survival. These aren't human traits. They're survival traits. And that means they might not come as explorers. They might come as competitors. But here's the strange part. What if they don't respond at all? No signals, no movement, just silence. That silence could mean anything. Maybe it's automated. Maybe they're observing. Or maybe they're waiting for something or someone. And that's when paranoia spreads. Because silence is harder to understand than hostility. At least hostility has intention. Silence feels like a setup. And this is where it gets worse. If they traveled across stars to reach us, their technology isn't just advanced. It's incomprehensible. So what chance would we have? But don't panic yet. Because the real danger might not be what you think. And it's something we'd never see coming. Everyone imagines lasers, explosions, giant ships attacking cities. But that's not how civilizations end. Not anymore. What happens next changes everything. Because the biggest threat might be invisible. Not weapons, not war, but biology. Imagine this. They land. Peaceful, silent, non-aggressive, no attack, no invasion. And yet, people start getting sick. At first, it's small, unexplained symptoms, mild, ignored. But here's the terrifying part. Their biology evolved somewhere else. Under different conditions, different microbes, different chemistry. And we have zero immunity. None. And that's when it begins. Slow, quiet, unstoppable. Because this wouldn't be an attack. It would be an accident. And accidents don't negotiate. But here's the twist no one expects. It could go both ways. What if Earth itself is toxic to them? What if something as simple as water destroys them, burns their skin, breaks their biology, turns our planet into a death trap? And suddenly, we're not the weak ones anymore. But that balance, that fragile advantage, wouldn't last. Because if they can cross the stars, they can adapt. And that's when things spiral out of control. Because now it's not about survival. It's about dominance. And we're not ready for that. Not even close. But the final truth is even more disturbing. Because the real question was never, are aliens real? It was always, what happens when they find us? And the answer isn't comforting. If they're peaceful, we risk dying by accident. If they're hostile, we don't stand a chance. If they're silent, we don't know when it begins. But here's the strangest part of all. Maybe they already know we're here. Maybe they've always known. And maybe they chose not to come. Not because they can't, but because they shouldn't. Think about that. A universe full of life. And yet, no one visits. No signals. No contact. No mistakes. Just distance. What if that's not coincidence? What if it's a warning? And what if the moment we finally meet them is the moment we realize we were safer not knowing? Because once first contact happens, there's no going back. No undoing it. No hiding. No second chance. So maybe the real question isn't, are we alone? But why does it feel like we're being left alone on purpose?